friends, it's Brittany Valadez here for BravelyDaily.com. I'm so excited for you guys to be joining me because I have a special guest with me today. Yes, I have the wonderful, the beautiful, the amazing couple, Jalen and Cacie. If you guys haven't heard about them, you're going to be obsessed with them by the end of this video, and if not by the end of the series, because they are fantastic. So Jalen and Cacie actually became popular because it all began with one particular video, and then the Jalen and Cacie stories blew up. And that is what their ministry is about now, catering to godly marriages. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Now, you guys, follow me on social media. I will list my social media accounts in the description box below. All right, let's get into this interview. What advice would you give to couples who are totally serving the Lord? They're really trying to honor Him with their personal relationship with Him, but, you know, not every one of us are dating or married to a 100% carbon copy of us. That's just not humanly possible. So what advice would you give to couples who are struggling with certain personality aspects that they literally are day and night on?
We don't have a lot of shouting matches.
Yeah, we made a rule. We don't shout at each other. We don't yell and scream. Now, we can be intense with our conversation because we're both intense people. And I really say we don't really run away from an argument, quote unquote. If something arises, we want to deal with it. Now, we may have to take a moment to hear from God about how to address it, depending on what it is.
And sometimes it's not even that deep. Sometimes it's just you understand that you're getting emotional, your spouse getting emotional, and we're not. I used to be the type where if there was an issue, it had to be resolved right here, right now. And I had to learn, and the host would tell me, Jalen, just be quiet and just wait. And you're not gonna be able to talk about this right now. And sometimes I would have to wait for the conversation to come back around again, and I felt torture. I gotta do it right now. But it taught me some patience, some long suffering. And I eventually had to learn to just be patient. And sometimes it just can't be handled right then and there. It's not going to be resolved in 5 minutes. So I had to learn some wisdom and when to wait until a moment where we could revisit the topic, not in the middle of a crisis. If like the dish rag thing, we probably wouldn't have been able to have that long conversation in the middle of one of the incidents where I left it sopping wet. But later on, we're not dealing with dishes and we're just having a scheduled conversation, a scheduled checkup in our marriage. That's a point where you could present that thing. And that's the best time to deal with those issues that keep coming up again. Have regular checkups in your marriage where y'all just talk about stuff. Don't talk when there's an offense that's happening right then and there. A lot of times you're emotional, you're not rational, and you have to have that conversation.
And since divorce is not an option for us, so we know there's nothing we can do that's going to break us apart. So we can say, okay, we're going to save this for conversation time. I'm not in a moment where I can really talk about it. And for me, I can kind of like draw away from stuff, and I had to learn how to come out of that and be more vocal about my feelings because I don't like arguing. I hate it. I don't like loud shouting. I don't like arguing at all. But like you said, we have scheduled times where we talk about stuff and say, okay, we need to talk about this, this, and that. And it gets resolved and we can pray about it when we're both at a place where we are calm and we can hear from God. And that was very important because you can say a lot of things in anger and really hurt the situation really, really bad. And even though you may love your spouse, you may say, well, we're not getting divorced, but you can still scar your spouse and hurt them deeply in a way that can bring mistrust or just all kinds of issues that you don't want to have to deal with. So if you know you're a person with a temper and you need a moment, take your moment. You know, take your moment so you won't hurt and scar him. I don't want to scar him at all because I love him too much. And you can break somebody down to the point where they just stop engaging and you don't ever want it to happen in your marriage. Don't try to avoid putting your business in Front Street. Like, don't argue in front of your friends and family or put each other down in front of your friends and family. Because if you really want to destroy your marriage, that's gonna happen. Because to belittle or to make light of your spouse's feelings in front of everybody else, it's just a whole nother level of issues. And so we really try, because there's been times when we've been out with our friends and it's like, oh, you're really getting on my nerves right now. But, you know, I don't want to blast him and put him out there because I don't want to ever make him look small or incompetent or anything like that in front of the eyes of my family and friends, because now you're bringing the opinions and thoughts of other people into your situation And that's really hard to change a lot of times. So really try to keep that stuff in-house, deal with it. Only bring it out if you really feel like you at a point and you go to some qualified people, your pastors, Christian counselors, stuff like that. If it's something on a level where you feel like we need another person to help us work this out, but you never want to expose your spouse weakness like that, because it's hard to recover from that kind of thing.
Just remember that, again, you're on the same team. Exactly. And when you keep that in mind, when you have a disagreement, because you will, when you keep in mind I'm on the same team, and the solution, the end destination you're trying to get to is agreement, that'll keep you from saying the wrong stuff. Because in the midst of a disagreement, you'll start stacking in all the issues you got with that person. And it's like, wait a minute, let's focus on this one issue, because the solution is for us to get an agreement. And so you could reach a point of maturity where the other person, may be more emotional, is throwing barbs at you, and you just kind of let them roll off your back. Because, okay, I know you're just upset right now. Let's focus on the task at hand and get to the root of the thing. And sometimes in our conversations, there are moments where we're having conversation and it's not time to pull away. We got to keep going and going and going until we finally crack through what the underlying issue is. And a lot of times it's a cultural issue from something we grew up with. And then it's like, okay, that's what it was. That's why we keep having this issue. It's usually deeper than just a dish rag, you know?
It's not always pretty.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So don't always think that because there's crying or some people are just this way, you yell at people, that's how to communicate. You know, it's not always pretty, but sometimes you're trying to get through to that thing. And because we are imperfect in the way we present ourselves as human beings, you got to do what you got to do to get through to that root. But you got to know the difference between when you're just trying to damage somebody and when you're trying to get to the solution.
All right, so I'm sure that many of you are loving the wisdom dropped by Jalen and Cacie. But was there anything specific that stood out to you? Was there like a quotable quote that you just can't get out of your head and maybe you even like wrote it down because it was so good? Just tell me in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure they'll be interested to know what inspired you. But I just want to tell you a couple more things. So yes, remember, don't forget, this is not the only video in this series. There are many more to come. So you guys have gotten to know Jalen and Cacie because of their wisdom when it comes to dating, relationships, and marriage. That wisdom we can all receive when we study and apply the Word of God to our lives as well. But there's another topic that they're really wise on, and it comes down to the topic of race. So Jalen actually did an amazing series on his YouTube channel with his father where he discussed race. If you guys haven't noticed, we are minorities ourselves. I'm Hispanic and they are African American. So we thought, well, we might have a thing or two to say about, you know, the topic of race. But it's not because we are minorities that we feel that we need to talk about race. That's just one major aspect. The first major aspect of why we are even talking about it is because we want to share it from a biblical perspective. Race relations is huge right now, but what are true, authentic Christians saying about it? And if you're kind of somewhere in between and don't know what to believe or what to think about it, I think you should definitely watch the series. So I hope you guys, can stay on this channel. I'll let you guys know on social media, etc., when that video series is coming out. Lastly, if you like them, and I know you did, you're gonna wanna follow them on social media. I will put all of their social accounts in the description box below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Jalen and Cacie, and go visit their website, jalenandcacie.com.
Our YouTube channel, and I'm sure Brittany's already linking all of that, but youtube.com/Jalen and Cacie. We'd love it if you would join our Bible study group that we have on Facebook. It's a private group, so just ask to be in it, and then you get accepted into it. And we're actually launching pretty soon some new Bible studies that'll happen. Well, I'm not going to give too much detail until we actually lock it in, but it's going to be happening. So go ahead and join our Bible study group. And on our website, if you have questions for us, we have our Dear Jalen and Cacie tab where you can submit questions. You can be anonymous if you like.
And that's at jalenandcacie.com.
Yeah, jalenandcacie.com. Or you can always send them to Brittany and she'll just have us back on again. We'll just do this all over again. Or we also have, we're doing for the year of 2021, only $21, you can have a one-on-one session with us, a 30-minute session on Zoom, and you can ask us questions directly, talk about your situation, whether it's you with your person, your spouse, or person you're dating, or you single by yourself, wherever you are, single, divorced, married, struggling, on a halfway to struggling, whatever it is you're dealing with, and you need to get some help. When you can talk one-on-one, you can do that. And for the year of 2021, we're just doing it for $21 because we're passionate about this year, people getting their lives on track and whatever they're dealing with. So that's what we've got going on right now. So be sure to check all that out.
And we're everywhere, Instagram too.
Yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Just look, Jalen and Cacie's everything. We got it.
Just spell the name right is all that's important.
Also, if you guys want to follow me, my social media accounts will be in the description box below. You can also subscribe to my channel, and you can follow me on my website at bravelydaily.com. All right, I'm Brittany Valadez for bravelydaily.com. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.